You said that you saw this, that it was a preview screening.
Yeah, preview screening.
I saw the trailer
Now,
for this.
Sharon, it's a shame Sharon couldn't come, but that was the night she went to see Ghostbusters.
It was the same
Oh,
night.
Yeah,
yeah, but then, yeah, because I've seen the trailer for this, and from what I can see, it's set in like the sort of suburbs, and it ends up being like it has to do with two mothers, and how one of them blames the other one. Oh, for goodness sake, these balloons again.
yeah. This it's yeah. So it is. Yeah, it's two families. They're neighbours, and they've both
Yeah.
got young sons. And it takes place in the early '60s because they say about Kennedy. Or it's obviously before Kennedy was president because they have a little conversation about Kennedy.
Hmm.
And obviously there's a terrible accident. And I think that's actually in the trailer. So
Yes.
it's
Yeah.
not a spoiler. Let's just say one of the neighbours' sons dies, and then certain things happen throughout the movie. There's different times where the other mother with the son starts to become a bit suspicious that because they were such a close family, the boys played really well, and the mums were really affectionate and really, because she shows a lot of attention on her son, if you see what
Yeah.
I mean. So the wife who's lost her son, pays a lot of attention and does it, and so it becomes all suspicious. Um, and it's a little bit of a slow burn to start with, but I think that's for what I liked about it. There is a lot of character development in this, so I
Yeah.
think that's why they were saying, because obviously they want to set it up that, let's just say, certain ones of them may have in the past had a few mental issues or whatever. So you've always got that sort of feeling, is that things is what is this is this paranoia, or is there something there? Or and
Yeah.
of course, if you've had something in your past and you start sort of saying things, they're like, are you sure, and all this. And so let's just say, there's certain things that happen, and that's not the only death. There's other deaths and all that. And but I think why they set this in the '60s is because nowadays, if it was up to date, some of the things that happened would have been thought of as suspicious and probably investigated a lot more these days. Well, that's a
Yeah.
bit odd. That's a bit coincidental. We better
Yeah.
we better investigate and look into this. But in those days, it was like, oh, it's a tragic accident. Oh, it's a,
Yeah.
it's one of those things that happened. So I
Uh,
thought it was really, really well thought out on that side of it.
I
You can
think
say
also as well, some of the things that you were saying as well. It sounds like there's, and it seems that in the trailer as well that they're going to lean into this. Whether is it happening? Is it just a woman being hysterical?
Yeah,
And I think like in the
100%.
'60s there was a lot that kind of thing, like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah. Well,
she's just
they had
being
all those
hysterical. She's
examples.
just
Yeah,
yeah, give her a brandy and send her to bed or something like that.
yeah.
Because
Especially when before one of them's had some history. Do you know what I mean? It's like, oh,
yeah,
we
yeah,
don't want to. But so. And there are some great scenes in this. There's a scene which I really, really like. It's just the families before whatever happens, and the families are all together. And obviously, in those days, there was probably ladies that would have liked to have had a career doing something else. Like one was a
yes,
journalist and blah blah blah. But it's like, no, suburban housewife, ideal.
yeah,
So you've got a few issues there. And there's just one bit where, and I know it's probably nothing to do with the film, but there's just, so they're drinking wine and all that. And there's one bit where one husband says something to the other wife, and she just suddenly turns, which is when people drink alcohol. I've met a lot of people, and it's done really well. And it's difficult to play drunk people on film
yeah,
or
yeah,
nastiness.
yeah.
So I like that bit. There was a few scenes in this that I really, really thought really, really like that. Really, and the payoff was just the ending. It was like, so I'm not going to say nothing about the ending, but I'm not going to say nothing about the ending, but I just think it was yes.
Oh,
So.
oh,
So
oh, oh,
I worked
oh,
out
oh,
I worked out the heart. I had it right from the start, which I was quite pleased with. But I really, really like the ending of this movie. Normally they
oh
all
my
fall flat on their
God.
face. Yeah. Oh my God.
Oh my
Yes.
God, mark the day 28th, a modern movie, and Sean liked the ending.
Yeah, I really did. I really
That,
did.
oh, I mean, honestly, that is enough to recommend this film, that Sean thought the
Yeah.
ending wasn't stupid.
It was, and I thought it was going to be toes. I
That's
was
a sign of
thinking
good
at one
writing.
point, I was thinking, no, because I got my things,
Yeah, well, yeah,
but it
because
didn't.
it
It
looks
didn't.
like,
It paid off, and I was like, wow.
it looks like a kind of film that could end up in melodrama because it looks
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
it it's sort of a psychological battle of wits between Jessica Chastain and Anne Hathaway,
Yeah, yeah.
and it looks like it could go there. When you talked about it's really difficult to act drunk, I was like, ooh, and I was trying to figure out who it was, whether it was Jessica Chastain or Anne Hathaway, and I was like, actually, they're both good at that. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
It takes some. I mean, I thought the acting was superb. I really, really did like the acting in this. I thought it was great. It was all believable. There wasn't any nonsense. Even the husbands, even the difficult characters.
yeah.
Um. So yeah, and as I say, I was like, I was. Let's just say I was really, really chuffed with the ending of the movie. But because
Oh,
I thought it was going to go one way, and it totally, totally didn't.
okay. So, Sean, moment of truth. How many stars are we giving this?
Let's get a four. This one. It was a real nice surprise.
Oh,
Yeah,
well, that's
I liked it. I thought that it had enough elements in this to make it worth a four. I was thinking a super high three, but now I'm talking about it and now I'm going through it. Yeah, I'm thinking it deserves a four.
all right, cool. So, a four for Mother's Instinct, and that is because we are actually getting better at getting these podcasts and videos out early early enough. That's like go see this when it's released at cinemas because this isn't in cinemas yet.